India says that a car explosion in the capital, New Delhi, was a terror attack. The blast outside of the city's Red Fort tourist attraction killed at least 8 people and wounded more than a dozen others on Monday. It was the first incident of its kind in the city since 2011. Indian security services have arrested several suspects in the disputed Kashmir region. Let's bring in New Delhi Bureau Chief Sandra Petersman. Good to see you, Sandra. What led the Indian cabinet to declare this a terrorist attack?
It was investigating agencies have pieced together since Monday's blast. It's a disturbing puzzle because it puts 3 medical doctors at the center of attention, 3 medical doctors who are perceived to be the ringleaders of an Islamist network, according to authorities, an Islamist network that was busy planning attacks in Delhi and in other places of interest in India, according to the course of the investigation. And these medical doctors hailed from the Kashmir region. 2 of them have since been arrested since the blast. And the 3rd one was the alleged driver of the car that exploded on Monday evening here in Delhi, killing many people and injuring dozens more. So all of this made the Indian government declare this a terror incident, and they were also pointing to raids against this perceived Islamist network just shortly before Monday's car blast in Delhi. And in these raids, about 3,000 kg of explosive material was uncovered, as well as weapons, pointing to a wider network at play here. And the investigation, of course, is ongoing.
Who could be behind this? Because we understand that they didn't specifically blame anyone for the incident.
No, that's precisely the point. The Indian government, in its reaction yesterday, did not put any blame on, let's say, neighboring Pakistan, as it did from day one when we saw an attack in Kashmir against Indian tourists in April. Here it is the Indian investigating authorities who finger point to an Islamist group, Jaish-e-Mohammed, based out of Pakistan. And they cite chats on the messenger app Telegram, on devices linked to the 3 doctors at the center of this perceived Islamist network, pointing to handlers from Jaish-e-Mohammed. But it's still very early stages, and the Indian government has not finger-pointed towards Pakistan directly, because that would come with consequences. As Prime Minister Modi back then in April, May, when the 2 neighboring countries, arch-rivals, were on the brink of war, he said any future act of terror will be treated as an act of war, and then there would be a lot of public pressure to retaliate militarily, as India did in May after the April Kashmir attack.
Okay, and Sandra, if you could just tell us briefly a little bit more about the investigation and how things are now expected to unfold.
Well, at the moment, the investigation very much focuses on the 3 medical doctors perceived to be at the center of this Islamist network. It's about who did they meet, where did they travel to, who did they talk to on messenger apps or on the phone, and then piecing together the puzzle. And in the end, it will boil down to the question, are we looking at a case of homegrown extremism, or are there indeed foreign hands at play here? Sarah.
DW's Sandra Petersman in New Delhi. Thank you.